Welcome back. This is Signature Morning on Signature TV. It's Tuesday, the 22nd. Hope you're good out there, wherever you are watching us from around the world. We are on SLTV 265. You can also watch us live on YouTube. So we're changing gears right now to discuss the youth and transformational leadership in Nigeria. I mean, so many persons have talked about Nigerian youth and what they are really about. If you look at the numbers don't look good, especially as it concerns the fact that in the last 20 years, we haven't had a youth rule this country. I mean, it's only recently that we even had a law that allows that the not too young to run law that allows youth to even get involved in that political space. So we're going to look into those because we have two guests in the studio with us. The Nigerian youth and the national leadership transformation is the topic. And we have Agunsi Uche Kontash. He's a TLM chairman, planning committee. Good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. That's from my far left.
Good morning, sir. Thank you.
Good morning to you. And we also have, to my immediate left, Honorable Ikenna Onaga, as a TLM chairman, planning committee. Good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Nice being here. Thank you so much.
Let me start off with you, Honorable Ikenna. How would you explain the Nigerian youth in the context of leadership, especially political leadership in Nigeria?
Okay, well, their involvement is very low, probably because of the examples they've seen in the past. And that's actually what we are talking about right now. You know, when they see the good example, that's when they'll be motivated to be part and parcel of the sales system. So probably because of the wrong examples they've seen in leadership, or because of their mindset, that's why they feel they are not involved. But with the not too young to run bill, we are here to advocate and say it's time for young generations to get involved in politics and in governance.
But the youth in other parts of the world take the lead. I mean, you see them, if there's something that they don't want, they go for it. If there's something that they want to push for, they go for it. If they say this is not the person that they want, they push it to that point of, the fact that they're not going to allow the person to take over power. But we've seen over time that when the youth speak, they speak with low tone, they speak with low voice. Even the protests that they would organize, you see divisions, so you wonder, are the Nigerian youth really even focused?
Yes, I believe they are. I believe they are very, very focused. It's about the system. To me, it's about the system. You said in civilized nation where people protest and they go scot-free. What happens here? When you protest here, your life is endangered. A whole lot of things will go wrong and all that. So you naturally give them that complacency, that lay back. They will be like, whether I say anything or I don't say anything, what will happen will happen. So I think beyond the politics is about the system. The system needs to be sanitized. And with the sanitization of the system, the youth can be motivated. And when I put my effort, I know I'm going to get a positive result. For instance, let me make reference to what happened in 2023 election. People came out en masse. And for the first time, to the best of my knowledge, they say, this is the person that we want. And it went the way it went and all that. You can't protest. They will tell you, that you have to accept it the way it is. If you're not comfortable with it, go to court, this one, that one. That's the system we're talking about. If the system is working where you know that when you cast your vote, that your vote will count, then you can give it all out. But why waste the effort at the end of the whole day? The system will just turn the whole thing against, and so the motivation will not be there. That's my own personal opinion.
Okay, let me come to you, Agunsi Uche. I mean, his mindset seemed to be one that is, giving up. You were talking about the system, and the system is not working, and you tried a thing or two, and it doesn't work, then you just, let me not go and keep myself for this country, let me just stay back, Do you think that thought is one that resonates the most, with the Nigerian youths? Do you think that Nigerian youths may have given up? They have tried all they can, and it didn't work, and you know what? The best thing is just to stay back and watch these people do whatever they want to do.
Okay, I agree with what he said. Giving up, maybe giving up to the system, not giving up as a person. Because if you really say the youth have given up, they will commit suicide. But you see, they're succeeding in their business, they're succeeding in some of their career. That means they're not giving up as a person. They've not given up to the vision that Nigeria will be better one day. They might be giving up because the system is hijacked. The system is corrupt. Most of the result they expect to get, they're not getting it. Even the judiciary system, we see things that plays as if it's a movie in Nigeria. You see the truth before your very own eyes, and they will come up with a story that it will shock you. Like, it's only in this Nigeria that Federal Capital Territory at some point was addressed as a state, and at the same time being addressed as a, a lot of drama happening everywhere. So the youth are giving up on the system, not as a person. If they see a positive energy, they'll cast it their energy there. In as much as you feel that the youth are not talking, go to the state, you'll see them. Go to meetings, you see them. Go to everything they're making in their effort. In our technology, you can see even young men are producing aircraft in this nation in a minimal form. But the system is not encouraging them. Some are even producing cars, some are doing a lot of mind-blowing innovations, but they're still in remote areas. So to me, the youth have not really given up. But from what angle he's saying, that the youth has given up on the system, all they're waiting for is, where can we see the light through the tunnel? And they will cast their energy towards it. And some of them are even putting their energy in a negative side too, because they've not gotten that positive environment to cast in their energy. And one thing about youth you can't take away from is the energy, the drive. If you don't channel them to the right one, they will drive to the left one.
Yeah.
That's life. There's no vacuum in life.
I'm just thinking about the vibrancy. I mean, if you look at the 1960s, the likes of Ojukwu, the likes of Theophilus Janjuma, the likes of Obasanjo at the time, these guys were in their 30s. They were military leaders. They were leading this country. I mean, do you see that today? Do you see the Nigerian youths leading a country, like they did in the past? You wonder, is there not something fundamentally wrong with the Nigerian youths of today versus what we used to have in the past?
Yeah, I will not agree with you vehemently, because when you talk about the e-money, them and all of them, some of them are in their 30s. But that's the environment they saw themselves in, and they're thriving in that area. The Ojukwu, the Danjuma, the military, the people that colonized us gave them room. Some of them studied abroad. Some of them saw that light. Some of them read law. Some of them were military. So they have a platform to thrive. But in this nation, even our education doesn't give us the right platform. Even what you read cannot be used to work in a society. Today, people are giving job not because of merit. They give job because somebody somewhere knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. So today, nobody wants to celebrate the A1, people that came out from school with A1, 2, and even the more dollared you are because you know somebody that knows somebody, they call it godfatherism. You get to power, and sometimes you see your leader is not competent, but he's the one that announcing that he's the leader. But you are the one walking from behind the camera, and you are succeeding, and all the accolades is being given to him. Today, we don't celebrate brilliance, we don't celebrate competence, we don't celebrate integrity. Someone picks somebody's money and return, and there's no national award of MON or OON. But today, who do they give those awards? Even in some of the awards you now give, you see people buy award with money. So these are some of the things that discourages the youth. So if you have something you're looking up to and you're working toward, remember those days, your father would tell you, if you come first, I will kill fire for you. If you come first, I do this, I go on holidays. Today, it doesn't happen. Most parents are telling you, if you don't make money, you're useless. You are the first son, are you the first son for nothing? And today, you see most of them go into Yahoo or whatever, because they thrive in family now is make it. No matter how you make it, they welcome you. And sometimes they even give you chieftaincy title in order to honor your bad earning style. So today, we don't do those things that they were doing in Ojukwu's time that helped them to come up to limelight. They have bad people there, but the system did not allow them to grow. And some of them died naturally. But today, the system that allowed the good people to thrive, and the bad ones are the ones making it, as long as they have money. And today, look at young people. They don't believe in love anymore. Meet all these young boys, young girls. Love is gone. Relationship is gone. Everything now is monetized, including human relationship. And before you know, in the next 10 years, people will be selling their children. Say, how much do you have? Okay, my daughter is for sale, take this. And they will be going for the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Because the way this nation is going, without money, you can't survive anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody cares for your education. Nobody cares for your moral integrity. Nobody cares for your family value. Nobody asks who is your father. No, all they ask is how much do you have in your pockets.
Wow. Honorable Ikenna, maybe you speak about the system, a system that has refused the youth to thrive.
Yeah.
What is the role of the youth to changing this system?
The role is by getting involved. There is something I call value reorientation. For instance, Nigeria is just like a vehicle. Do you know you can buy a brand new vehicle and with a wrong driver there, the vehicle will not still move? I'll give you this illustration. Back then, my dad used to have 504 manual many years ago. And as a young guy, I've always wanted to know how to drive. So one day I entered the car, very powerful car, nothing is wrong with the car. Instead of putting it in gear 1, I put it in gear 3. When you move a car, you have to put it in gear 1 so you can start moving. Put it in gear 3, and naturally you do. I keep telling people, I don't know what is wrong with my dad's car. There is something wrong with this car. But amazingly, nothing is wrong with the car, something is wrong with the driver. The same car, without taking it to mechanic, my dad went out the same car and start the car, put it in gear 1, and it will move. The same thing with this nation. Nothing is wrong with the nation
At all.
if you transport everybody in Nigeria and move us to Canada or UK, any country of our choice, and move the people back, give them few years, people will start running back here. Why? Because over there the system is working. By God's grace, I've traveled, and I see some of our leaders will go out there.
They behave.
You will come to one particular time. I was in a place called Edgar's, this in South Africa, and I told the guy I'm with, I said, this man in front is a serving governor in my, I won't mention his name. He's a serving governor in my country, and he's on a queue, a place like ShopRite. I'm just imagine that same person back in Nigeria here coming to ShopRite. I was in ShopRite on this day. A deputy governor came to buy toothpaste. They stopped us from entering ShopRite. Not the deputy governor of this state, another state. Stopped us from entering ShopRite. Why? The system is collapsed, and that's where the discouragement comes from. And that's why we are saying value reorientation. Let's raise new generation of leaders that have a different mindset, that have the right orientation, that have the right vision. When you are giving power to serve, you are not giving there to enrich yourself. What will naturally come? You are giving power to serve so that you can sanitize the system, so you can make the system workable. You don't need to know anybody to get job. In Nigeria of today, if you don't know XYZ, some of these choice jobs, you can't get it. If you don't know, if it has even gotten to admission right now, there are certain schools you can't if you don't know social science. So there must be so what's the sense of JAM, writing JAM? What's the sense of writing WAEC? What's the sense of writing all those things? You see some people come down and study, but still nothing will still come out of it. Why? It's the system. If you tell yourself the truth naturally as a person, it's like you now. You are working in this studio. Every day you come to work by 5 o'clock in the morning, go by 11 at the end of the day, they tell you a story about your salary. Second month, they will tell you a story about your salary. Third month, they will tell you a story. Naturally, we are all human beings. You will start coming by 10. Next time, you start answering calls. You remember you need to do some things before. It's not, because the system is no longer promising, is no longer keeping to what they promised. The same thing. Our leaders need to be patriotic leaders. They need to, when they go on campaign, when I win, I will do this, I will tie your road, I will do. The same person, when the person sits on the seat, now you dare not come an inch close. Why? So why would you expect the youth to get involved in that? Because they know that they already have. In fact, I was talking to you the other day. He said, "What is of election? Why don't you sit back somewhere and write the results and go and submit?" That's all those. In fact, one particular day he was telling me that they will be dead. That as the election is going on, the person that they've already declared the winner is already celebrating. People are still voting. What kind of system is that? It doesn't make sense. So let's face what is facing us. And tomorrow they tell the youth who want to get involved. Why would they get involved? But we are here to say that a new Nigeria is possible. Yeah. A new Nigeria. There are new breeds of Nigerians coming up.
Yes.
There is a remnant coming up. There are very few. And they will spread like wildfire. Whereby we'll sanitize the system and the system will start working. I always tell you I'm one of the few people I don't have plans of jabbering anytime soon. I have the opportunity. If traveling is my problem, by God's grace, I can travel to any country of my choice. But it's not an option for me. You know, I'm a bona fide and son of the soil. I don't have double citizenship anywhere. This is our nation, and we all have to join hands together and create a Nigeria of our dream. And that's why we're here. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic, really, because again, we have highlighted some of the ills, some of the issues, but again, if you look at the solution, sometimes it's tied to these same old ways and old system. I mean, we talk about politics now. We're talking about coalition for 2027. We're talking about alliances for 2027. We're talking about the leadership. Will you see those old talking about PDP? This is the El-Rufai trying to do the same thing. And then these guys, because of their beyond even their weight, we also see their influence in terms of money.
Yeah, the financial weight.
Yeah. So, and there's no use these days that you will not ask that, come, let me give you XYZ amount. Do small thing for me in your locality that will not do because of the level of poverty. How much of poverty do you think, is influencing the useful change that we really desire?
Well, I won't attribute it only to poverty. I will insist is value reorientation, because in the same 2023, a man came out and said, I'm contesting for presidential election, and I know they give shishi. And people were following him. You can't tell me in 2023 there is no hunger in the land. What they took time to do is that a man sat down and worked on the people's psyche and revalue, he uninstalled the old app, installed the new one, and rewired them. Whereby I was part and parcel of the election. I was actually involved in the 2023 election. And you will talk to people, they will tell you no. It's weird. And I said, some even went to the election and say, if you vote for so and so, we are going to give you so and so. They said, no, we don't need your dime. You know why? Because there is something greater than money, which is psychology, which is belief, which is an ideology. And that's what they worked on in 2023. They worked on people's ideology. We tell them, see, I can give you 10,000 today to vote for me. I can give you 100,000 today to vote for me. But guess what? After how many days? You'll be looking for the 100,000 and you won't see it again. But if the right person clicks there, you will have that 100,000 on your table every day for the next 5 years, for the next 8 years, for the next 12 years. And you just sit back and say, which one is better? I eat today, vote, and the wrong person enters there. And then I starve today, and tomorrow the right person enters and I'll be thinking, I think it's better. Why? Because somebody has worked on your value system. So I don't think I won't attribute to poverty. Yes, there is a role for poverty. You catch some people, why do you go into stealing? They say it's because of I came from a poor background. Why into prostitution? I came from, it's a lie. There are many people that came from the same background, they are not into prostitution. There are many people that came from the same background, they are not stealing. Why? They have a better orientation of life. So the youth, I won't tell you because it's poverty or anything. Yes, there's poverty in the land. There is hunger in the land, no doubt. It's biting everybody. A sizable number of Nigerians, no doubt. But that's not the reason. We've not gone to have a platform where people will be told the right truth and be like, hey, leave your personal agenda by the side. Let's focus on the corporate agenda. What is the corporate agenda? Building the Nigeria of our team, where things are working. Building the Nigeria of our dream, where things are working. Where you come to the educational sector, things are working the way it is. Both the rich and the poor can afford. Look at the educational system, for instance, now. Look at what is going on there. There are some private schools. Your children cannot go there. It's not possible. Look at the entertainment industry. Look at what is going on there. You want to blow, come and join XYZ. Come and join so and so and all that. I'm a good singer. I have talent like you. But because you're more connected to the up and mighty up there, you say that I will not blow until I'll bring my music to you. Nobody will hear it. But you just cough. They will hear it and they say he's a hit track. And so the system is corrupt and we need to sanitize. It's not just financial corruption. There is leadership. I always tell people, everything rises and falls on leadership. There is leadership in everything in life, including your home. There is governance in the home. The man is the president, the woman is the vice president, the children are the constituents. And if you're not a good leader in the home, they will give you a bigger platform, which is the same thing will repeat itself again. It doesn't make sense. So I think it's beyond poverty. Thank you.
Uche, coming back to you, I understand that there's a special program coming up in Enugu State, which will be this weekend. Can you talk us through this particular program and what it intends to achieve?
Okay. This is the 4th edition. We've had it for 4 years now, and it's not a movement that started after Obedient movement. We saw Obedient movement before it even came to be. We started before Obedient movement. We started telling them that a new Nigeria is possible. So 2023, they just saw a glimpse of it, and we kept doing it, telling the youth that it's possible. And we are not training political leaders alone. We are training all spheres of leaders. Like the team, this is producing the total leader. We are touching on the 4 legs of human reformation. We are talking on the relationship. That's why I was able to tell you that if you do your statistics, go to the street, you'll now find that 90% of the youth don't believe in love and relationship anymore. It's now win-win 50-50, just a transactional relationship. They don't believe in agape. They don't believe in true value of relationship. They don't believe in family legacy. Who is your father? What do you stand in for? Now, that's why people that are into drugs. And
but where did that orientation come from? Because it's also from the society that these guys learn these things from.
Yes.
So where did that orientation come from?
I say we didn't import it. It's here. But you know one thing about power is you don't know who you are until power is given to you. Power magnifies. It's like foam. When you insert a foam in the water and you pick it up, and you're looking at it from the camera, but think the foam is not carrying anything. But squeeze the foam. Whatever the foam has is to release it. So sometimes you might not know a bad man until you give him power or money. So money is amoral. Money is not bad, it's not good. But give it a wrong man, you see. That's why sometimes you see people complain. He was my friend, we eat with him, but now he's in power, nobody gets to him. He has been like that. You know, poverty has the way of humbling a man. When you don't have power, you look so humble. But when power comes, it magnifies you. You know, sometimes you see people, they buy big cars to cover their mediocrity. You know, sometimes they buy Jeep, they call it Okwetek and Ezek. And so you see some of them suffering from mediocrity. So they use those cars to cover up. Sometimes they use convoy to make announcement. It's not in Nigeria, you use 7 convoys, 15. You know, the more they line up, the more they feel value. That's sometimes any day they move away from power, they die out of depression. They die out of, you see a lot of illnesses that have been in them, but because people around them are calling them, say you're a good man, and they love those things. That's why sometimes they keep poor people around them, so that any day they enter village, those people come, they give them beer, they don't like empowerment. So why we are doing this, that we want to teach the youths, you need empowerment. Sometimes I don't blame politicians. You can't see me condemn any politician, because sometimes I ask myself, which school produced them? We don't have school of governance. But you have school of law, school of medicine. After you've graduated from school, you go there, you do your internship, and when they come out, they look better. But politicians today, they don't have school. They've created school for themselves, called school of fatherism. You must serve. Sometimes they pick touts. And because that tout has served over the years as a better tout, so they give them power, and you now see them repeating what they've known over these years. So while we are doing this leadership, let's catch them young. Who are our target audience? The undergraduates, the fresh graduate, the NYSC, and all of them. Let them come, because we're going to teach that some things the Igbo people do. I always want to emphasize on leadership. That's called one boy system. It's called mentorship. Those things have been bastardized now because of mingling of some cultures. But these are things that we're able to keep leadership flow for a very long time. You can see a man that came from a very poor family, but the father was able to see that this man is doing well. He now takes his son to go and understudy the man. After 7 years, that guy becomes successful. You can't say that poverty belongs in a family. You know, sometimes they spiritualize so many things, that poverty is in your family. You need to do deliverance, you need to do covenant breaking, and they keep repeating all those religious things. But you see some people, wealth, we are coming all over. It's not only in Anambra, you see wealthy people come from every other state, as long as you learn that principle. And one thing about principle cannot be broken. But if you break it, it breaks you. If this ceramics is produced with clay and it's fired 1,200 degrees, if I leave it and hits hard object, it will break. But if I bury this thing on the floor for 200 years, it will still remain like this, because it's made up of silica. That's sand, that's glass. So every principles must be obeyed for you to actualize a particular result. So we are guiding this youth to teach them. You must not be a politician for you to make it in life. You can be an inventor. You can be a successful businessman. You can be a successful filmmaker. You can be a successful farmer. You can be a successful artist. But everything now is running into politics, because they know that's the quickest way to make name, make money, buy all wealth, and sometimes some of them give themselves diplomatic visa and they go, and you know, all things are. But if you give these young people hope, you will see they will go far. That's why we are organizing this. Nobody is helping us. We source fund and do it. But we believe this year that people will come on board and help, because we believe in this dream. We feed them, we gather them, we teach them for free. Nobody's paying us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talk us through more of this, because I mean, you are using your own funds to do these things.
Yeah, we've been doing this thing for the past 4 years, like he said. And it interests you to know that it's self-sponsored, in the sense that we and some other people that are not here with us in the studio are bringing out our hard-earned money to food these bills. This year alone, the list from our budget, what we spend so far is about 5 million naira.
Wow.
At least 5 million. That's the simplest and the most realistic budget. We are transporting more than 500 people for free. Some of them are coming from as far as Calabar. We have to lodge them in the hotel because someone is coming for a meeting by 8 o'clock and coming from Calabar, coming from Lokoja. You can't meet up living, even if you leave by 5 o'clock, you won't be able before 9. So they have to come in on Friday, which is on the 25th, to sleep over. They won't sleep on trees. We have to lodge them in hotels. We are feeding them. You can't keep young people from 9 o'clock till 5 p.m. in the evening. With empty stomach, they will sleep on you. So there must be breakfast and all that. And we're doing this, and we've been, we've been reaching out to people. They keep giving us promises and all that. And we believe that before Saturday, that something is going to happen. And I want to appreciate Signature TV for being part and parcel of what you are doing. You guys are amazing. It's one of our principal partners for this year, and we give it to you guys.
It's one of the speakers too.
And the other is one of the speakers.
The president.
The president of Signature TV is one of the speakers. So we're glad to have all of you on board on Saturday.
Okay, I also see the governor is on the flyer too.
Yeah, the governor and the commissioner for youth will be there too.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll all be there.
What will be their role in all of this?
The governor, of course, is the chief host of the event in the sense that he is the one is happening in his state.
Okay.
So he knows about it, and he's coming to cheer Enugu. Then the commissioner for youth also is the one in charge of the whole youth of Enugu State. So because the thing is taking place, it's a national program, people are coming from different parts of the country, but because it's happening live in Enugu, so the commissioner is coming down, and he's a youth. Talking about youth not getting involved in, that should be the younger, I don't know if there's any commissioner that is younger than him, the commissioner for youth and sports. He's in his 30s. Yeah. So he's coming to tell them, if I can achieve this at this age, I believe you can too. So that's the main reason why they're coming on board and all that. And I believe that also the current governor is doing his best when it comes to transformational leadership. So he's coming to tell us some of the things that motivated him to do what he's doing. He came with a slogan, tomorrow is here.
Yeah.
We didn't understand that. The day they swore him, he said it's not business as usual. It's business unusual. We don't understand the English, but I think it's making sense now. So these are some of the things we'll be seeing that day. And also, the youths will have the opportunity. For instance, you are mobilizing the whole SUG in the whole of Enugu. We are mobilizing the whole SUG in the whole of Southeast. They are coming, despite their holidays. They are coming. We are putting buses to them. We also talked about free transportation. You can see where the 5 million naira is going to. We are giving buses to all of them. Where is this money coming from? From this our little pocket. So some of them will have opportunity of talking with the governor that day because it's going to be a town hall. So a section of it is called fire chat, where the people sit down and people ask them questions. You won't just come and talk and talk and talk and talk. No. It's not a church setting. This is an interactive session. People want to talk about that because some of these people don't even know what the youths are passing through. They don't even know what their problems are. So this is the opportunity they have to be like, I'm the SUG president of XYZ school. We have these challenges in our school. The governor is not, he doesn't know it all. He will be like, okay, if it's something he can attend to, he will be able to do that. If it's commissioner for youth, he will send to look into that matter. They will do the same thing. So that's why we're organizing this event. And at the long run, the big vision is setting up a school of governance. And when we talk about governance, we're not talking about political governance only. We're talking about business governance, because this year we are going to touch the 4 cardinal points of a leader. That's why we call this year's theme, Raising the Total Leader. 4 things that makes a leader. You have to talk about the intellectual, because if you can't read, you can't lead. So we are bringing people that will work on the intellectual, which is the value orientation I'm talking about. We're going to talk about the financial state. A leader without money is annoyance. Imagine a governor, you are getting poorer, immediately became a governor. Nobody wants to sit on that seat. But because there is money involved, so we are going to teach you about entrepreneurship. What will you do? The system that now that you came out with first class doesn't solve the problem. What can you do with your hand? Which skill do you have? Third thing, we are going to talk about the emotional state of the leader. You're a good leader. The Holy Book says that a man that cannot lead his home is not capable of leading society. So if you can't lead, if you are a young leader, you can't even stay with one girlfriend, you can't even build a relationship that can lead to marriage. So we're going to talk about the emotion, and the last is your spiritual state. What is the spiritual state of a leader? A leader should be spiritually sound.
Great, good one. I just want both of you to touch on one very, very important thing, because very recently we hosted the representatives of the NDLEA, and they mentioned the staggering amount of youths that are getting into drug abuse, and the numbers are it's stunning. Like, and it's almost look like they are handicapped even to take care of, people who are in that state. Some of them they say they bring them to their office. They have a place where they keep them, but the place is too small. And some of them, they just ask them to go away. There are people who have gotten into the point of no return, and people are still getting into that, largely because of depression. Some peer pressure. Some also mostly about, maybe lack of nothing to do. I mean, we are a country that are without jobs. More people have gotten themselves into poverty, and these things affect the youths. So would there be a session to really speak on these issues?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're equally reading some of our program in your mind. I will find out that some of the things that leads to this youth depression start from family. Every child needs affirmation. Even God himself did it to Jesus Christ. Each time Jesus do something, the father would just declare and make a voice. Son. This is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. Hear him. He affirms the boy. He affirms Jesus as a boy. He was doing well. But you see, this absent fatherhood, the father, is bad in Lagos. I went to Lagos. I decided not to live there. The father will come back by 2 a.m., leave by 4 a.m. The children don't see him. So who affirms him? Sometimes they come back with their result. Nobody knows whether he passed or he fails. So some of these things eat up to them. And this internet and gadget thing, because they don't have you, they must have something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes children, you give them cartoon. Put cartoon for them, and they you don't know what the cartoon is saying. You don't know what the cartoon is educating them. So that we find that absent fatherhood, absent motherhood. You don't affirm them. You don't even speak the right word. Not only in Lagos, you see some villages, you see mothers damage their children with their mouth. You amount to anything, look at you, this. So the girl now is rejected. Sometimes science has discovered that a child can feel rejection right from the womb.
Absolutely.
So if they come up with that and the environment doesn't accept them, and some of them that has one ailment or the other, they don't pass exam and they don't use that word and damage them. And when they come to society, I guarantee you, people that smoke knows how to form their community. They welcome them with 2 hands. They say, welcome, my brother, you need this. Don't forget about this word, just high up. And in high up, they get higher. And they want to become higher than the most high. But one thing can be higher than the most high. So the more higher they want to become, the more they're destroying their psyche. And before you know it, they don't think about another thing, and they now form their own community. Today it's so bad that some people go and break soccer away to inhale disease. So it's bad. I've worked with them, and we've organized a session that will talk to this youth. What is the solution? Let the society begin to affirm the youths. Let society, we need to do communal parenting. In our days, the mothers uses adage that if one a child because you don't know who is going to eat the leg. When you see a father is scratching feces, you don't know who's going to eat the leg. But today you see a young man doing what is right or what is wrong, you overlook it. No, it's wrong. Sometimes I stop my car, call them and say, this thing you're doing is because one day you see them come to you and say, thank you for that advice you gave me. Yeah. Thank you for that correction. But we don't do it anymore. We are so careless now. We are so in God with our cell phone. Sometimes I was watching some of these kids, they do. You see a mother pressing phone and the father pressing phone. The girl is looked at the father, asked the father question, asked the mother. The girl now goes to the maid who doesn't know anything. And the maid will teach out of the knowledge she knows. I'm having my first menstrual or whatever. I say, use this. And you see the girl damaged from that stage. So this drug thing is persistence because we get it wrong from the family. So parents, I need to call them to order. You don't need to make the whole money. Most of our children don't need our money. Because if you give them the right knowledge, they'll make their own money. Because if my father has left a car for me as his will, by now the car will be useless. Imagine me dying for Anyobana. So, but if they have left that legacy, that thing that produces wealth in them, in my own time, some of our children, in their time, our cars and our houses will be useless to them because it can't match to their trend. Because in their own time, they will build a house on top of water. Some of them will even hang their houses. Some will build houses with glasses. But we can't do that invention. So let's develop them. All this money you are piling up, sometimes some men, when they die, you can't even find their money. because they can't even tell their children. Look at what is happening today. People that are inheriting will are the people that's more into drug.
Yeah.
Because there's no force in them to make money. So when they see your money, it's easy to waste money.
Yeah.
You can finish 50 million in one day. I can show you 50 ways to finish 50 million in one day. And this youth know it. So let parents come down and affirm them, and the menace will come down small.
Yeah.
Right. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, just in addition to the direct question you asked, part of what you are doing in this season, we've not done it before, that we break our sections.
Okay.
Mentorship is done in smaller circles. You can mentor with a crowd of 500 people or more, and you are mentoring from the stage there. Is when people sit on it, there will be small circles of 12, 20, and small groups, and other, they will break out into the sections and other. And that's where people can be talked out of it. I always tell people, you don't solve your problem by taking drugs. No, you don't. Rather, you cause more problem for yourself. Because you can just be high. There is no drug you will take that will high you forever. There is no drug. If there is any, please, I want to know the name of the drug. There is no alcohol you will take. You will be high. Hangover, highest it can do you 48 hours. It will clear from your eye. That problem will stay with there looking at you face to face like this. So taking drug will not solve the problem. We are bringing experts that are there. Taking them to drug enforcement agents will not still solve the problem. You put them in cell. In fact, one particular case, as the person was there, he met with one of the officers and they still brought drug inside. And they still brought drug inside the cell there. And so because why? It's not about, you don't change things from outside. You change it from inside. You don't kill a tree by just cutting off the branch and say this tree is dead. You are joking. Until you go to the root of that tree and uproot it, that tree is still alive. Just give it a little time, it will come up again. Arrest them, put them in cell. You won't solve the problem. Until we have people that's their job, that will talk on their dissonance. This thing you are doing, you are passing through depression. What is the problem? They will tell you what led them. Everybody has a story why he started doing what he's doing. They were not born like that, so mind you. There is no human being that they gave birth to today. The next day he picks cigarettes or Igbo or alcohol and stuff. There is a day the thing started and something led to it. Most times it's because of the overlooking of our parents. We that are parents, we don't look into what our kids are doing. In my house, we censored all their cartoon my kids watch. You can't watch anything. You have time you watch, you have time you sleep, you have time you, because that's the environment I grew up, and by the grace of God, all of us turned out right in my family, all from A to Z. Then I used to think my father was a bad man, but now I begin to appreciate him. Same thing, my kids will be thinking I'm a very bad guy now. With time, they will know I'm trying to produce the best in them. So, in that summit happening this Saturday, the 26th of April, at International Conference Center, we have a section for that. And anybody passing through such thing, please, our arms are wide open to welcome you on Saturday. It's starting by 9 and then by 5 p.m. on Saturday.
The International Conference Center is the new
International Conference, yeah.
We are the first.
We are the first to use it. The one beside Obaraska Independence Layout, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very.
I'm sure you must have gone round to see it. How do you feel after so many years of it being moribund?
I the first day I entered there, amazingly, we even decided to use there by coincidence. That wasn't our choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We went to the place we already planned using, and then they told us they have a wedding that day, but we can come back for negotiation. So one of my guys said he wants to use International Conference Center for his own show, for a comedy show and all that. I said, okay, let's drive through there. When I got there, very clear, the vision became clear. This is the venue. There and there we paid for we paid immediately. There and there immediately. The money that was supposed to be given to so and so person, we turned it immediately to them. And when the government heard we are using their facility, they became more interested because it's owned by, and I want to give it to the current governor and the past governor that initiated it.
Yes.
Because I know it's not this current administration that started it, but at least they completed it. I want to give it to the past and the current administration for doing a great job. When you go there, you will see excellence. You will see smart leader. You will see a man that has vision. My God. When you go to the biggest hall, I went there, I was like, I'm actually in Nigeria. Part of this country. Everything is automated. I said, this is the venue we are using. Everybody that you can't afford but to say wow when you enter there. And if you come on Saturday, you will say wow. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I mean, it's been one interesting discourse, but just to also mention that the event is for this Saturday. That's the 26th. That's for 9 a.m. at the Enugu International Conference Center. Just in case you haven't been there, just an opportunity for you to be there, to at least even see the edifice. Because, I mean, it's all over the place. Everyone is screaming about that edifice. That's the place that the annual general conference will be held by the NBA.
NBA, yeah.
That's been causing a lot of controversy because it was moved from Port Harcourt to Enugu. The event is Transformational Leaders Movement in partnership with Novera Capital Limited, and they're presenting this edition, the 4th edition of the National Leadership Summit 2025. It's themed Raising the Total Leader. I mean, if you enjoyed the discussion today, imagine what would happen on Saturday. There'll be experts coming to discuss on several other things. And it's been one fantastic time with you both in the studio. I've been speaking with these two amazing guests, giving us an insight into what we should expect coming up this particular weekend, specifically on Saturday the 26th. So I want to say a very big thank you to both of you for all what you are doing for the people of Enugu, not just Enugu, but of course across the southeast and Nigeria, as the case may be. Honorable Ikenna Onaga is a TLM chairman, planning committee. Many thanks for your time. We truly appreciate you for coming. And we have also had Mr. Uche, I'm going to see Uche Kuntash. He's the TLM chairman, planning committee. Many thanks for your time. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.